Hey, Corey. Hola, founders of light. So, hopefully, tonight. This is relatively short because I work tomorrow but this won't stay. I don't know why I have this shade on anymore. It's broken, number one. No pancakes or muffins tonight, even though I am kind of hungry. And you can see, oof, my room. I got this new light. It's extra bright, but it makes the mess in my room like super immersive. But anyway, so tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the before and after tarot. So, like before Scorpio season, after Scorpio season, and then I'm going to use the Earth Gaia tarot to do the before. I'll pull one for the before, one for the after, and then I'll use the before tarot to clarify the before and the after to clarify the after. Hopefully, I'm here for less than an hour so I can get sleep tonight. I have a feeling like I might not regret might not be the word. I may reflect on this choice tomorrow. Well, actually, I'll be by myself tomorrow listening to oh, it's a soup night. I think Russ was eating soup earlier today. I want a good soup. I love soup. Okay, one more. So we'll bang bang boom, get this done. Hopefully, we'll see. And the middle of Scorpio season, I'm gonna leave blank. Like, hello, hello, hello. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Distracted. Let me focus. Before Scorpio season, after Scorpio season, and we'll see. Honestly, Libra season for me was interesting because I feel like I spent maybe the whole of Libra season not doing certain things that I knew I needed to do. Um, but also, like, I guess Libra season for me was a lot of in some ways discovering that what I used to want, I may not want now. Like right now. Like I might still desire some of it. Ace of Pentacles came out. So after the ace has hit the ground, this light is really bright. I'm going to turn it off. And the star is at the bottom of the deck. It's very much so this energy, though. It was like, well, now that I've healed what I've healed and I'm healing what I'm healing, my life isn't as restricted as it was in some ways. And so now I'm in a position to reevaluate because I'm changed, whether or not I still desire the same things in the same way in the same time. Or rather, I prefer to have other experiences first or in the meantime. Um, and there were things that I felt needed to be done or said before I would allow myself to have those other experiences. But then again, at the same time, because they were things that I wanted, they were things that I want. So it was this weird, like, I want this, but I want that. But if I have that, then I don't want this until I've had that. Because having both at the same time isn't necessarily an experience that I want, or maybe it is. Probably literally from the start of Libra season. And then, other stuff. So now coming into Scorpio season, a lot of the stuff that I needed to do is done. And let the transformation begin, I guess. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to turn this light off. 1 second. Hello, Amy. How you doing? I'm starving. Oh, and I got some essential oils. Oh my gosh. I meant to put 1 drop of lavender and 1 drop of eucalyptus. I accidentally got 3 drops of lavender and like 2 drops of eucalyptus, and it's powerful. This is why I don't mess with the incense. It's like the incense incident all over again. It was way too much. But it's fine. I did lavender and eucalyptus, I just said. And I got this little mini mister. It's over here, but I was at Menards. I was like, oh my gosh, Menards has so much beautiful, has so many like beautiful things for affordable prices. I got this mega bright LED light. Ah, see, this is why I put on shorts before I did the live. I had a feeling. Ooh. You got some beautiful oils. Yeah, I went there with my grandma because that's where she gets her dog food. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh. And then the last time I went, it was yesterday when I thought I was going down the street to get some fast food for breakfast. But then we went to a hibachi place. And because we went to a hibachi place, it's out by Walmart and Menards. And she was like, well, since I'm all the way out here, because it is a drive, we went to both of those stores. Woo, Menards. They had the Christmas stuff out. I was like, yes. We don't care about Halloween. Thanksgiving is a day, but Christmas, all for Christmas. The after tarot was like speaking today. So we have the matured emperor. At the bottom of the deck. What are you saying? Yeah. Oh, snap. I don't think we have a Home Depot, but save big money. 5 of Swords, 5 of Cups, 7 of Swords. With the Emperor at the bottom, maybe it's just like it's time to face the things that we need to face head on. Because it's like if we don't, then there's almost like a trap that we're going to be walking into by not facing it. By not facing it, it just comes in some other way. Like zombies that won't stay below the ground. This is the after tarot. I'm using the before tarot for before and the after tarot for after, and the mystical shaman oracle cards. Oh, the 9 of swords and the sun at the cut. This is such an interesting cut. But with after the 9 of swords, this is someone fighting their internal demons to claim their happiness. And again, like coming out of a Libra season balance, I think that's part of balance that we don't necessarily think about sometimes, or that we don't factor into the equation. When there are things that need to be done that we leave undone, what does that leave room for? Oh, I like that energy though. What? He was like, I was ready for you tonight. So you come in here when I'm asleep, you think I'm tired. You think I didn't had a bad day? I'm at my wits end, and you prey on my weakness. Well, I'm ready for you today. And he got that sword out. He's like, I will wake up to the light of day tomorrow. I don't know about you though. This may be your last night. I'm just sorry. Anyway, I'm taking too long. Ooh, I have no clue what that is, but I love that for you. I need to get into, well, I say need to, but I just got a humidifier and I was like, why not? So I'll try it. I don't know if I'll get into them or not. I might not, honestly. It's a 50-50. Oh, it's an incense. Oof. I got effed up by an incense last time. I'm not really good with smoky stuff though. So, oof. Oh, it's Russell. Wow. The hummingbird, the sun, and Pachamama. The hummingbird and the sun, it's a 26-8 and a 53-8. And then Pachamama is 40. So it's almost like she's in between both of these as the halfway point. The hummingbird, the sun, and Pachamama. I remember Pachamama. It's the energy, it's the feeling of the energetic cost of creation. Because last time she looked a little tired, like she needed to rest. I don't know. This is not your daughter can't handle them. Yeah. My mom is like absolutely not like cigarette smoke, incense, anything. She's just like, she can't. And I'm kind of like that, but not as bad. Even though when my allergies get really bad, I get asthma. Allergy induced asthma. I remember when I found out that was a thing. He may be in the bed. Midisa. It's the good kind of Indian floral woody religious incense. Oh. Oh. It's most likely gonna hop in and say nothing. I was listening in to his, and then I left to go to the store in the middle of Capricorn. Fire and wind, that can be an interesting combination. Okay, all right. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to shuffle this 3 times. I'm going to take the top and the bottom, as the top is going to be before, the bottom is going to be after. And then I'm going to shuffle the before twice. I'll shuffle the after once, and I'll see. Because it's already been almost 15 minutes, and I'm trying to go to bed tonight. So, but my homework is done, so I don't have to do any tomorrow. I was doing that today. And then I forgot yesterday that open enrollment, I had to do my insurance. So homework got done. Some of it got done last night. The rest of it got finished today. I remember thinking earlier, like, I need to have a better balance in my life. Because waiting until the weekend, like, doing homework on my days off, and, like, I don't get to see my grandma through the week anymore because I'm at work. And so on Friday or Saturday, I'll ask her, like, if she needs to do anything, and I'll run around with her. But then it's like my whole day. And, like, we move a lot. So I'd be tired. I'm like, I feel like I didn't even rest. But it's fine. I wouldn't trade that for the world. Okay. No, I saw the hummingbird and I was like, oh, that's Russell. Well, he's in the hummingbird is his now. Cards keep flipping over. Soul retrieval. Like, that's not how this works. Why is everyone so chatty? Hello. Okay. Oh. So before Scorpio season is 49. After Scorpio season is 50. So what's happening in Scorpio season? Well, I guess that makes sense, right? Because if it's 49 going in, then by the end of it, well, I would think by the end of it it's 51 because Scorpio season is the 50. But I guess we're gonna enter the next season with this season complete, so it would be 50 by the end of it. Okay. Right? Because I was kind of sort of doing like this as Libra season, this as Sagittarius season, even though it wasn't necessarily Libra Sagittarius, it was just before and after. Okay. Thanks, Amy. Yeah, I was with my grandma on Friday. There's this red scarf. I've been meaning to crochet her for 2 years now. I know I'm late. And I went with her yesterday and she was wearing a red crocheted scarf, or it could have been knitted. I said, "Where'd you get that from?" A bit offended because, I would have did it, but I didn't. So would I? And she's like, "Oh, I got it from Kathy, her sister." She's like, "I got it from your Aunt Kathy." I was like, "What?" I was gonna crochet her that scarf this year and surprise her. I was also gonna crochet her that scarf last year and surprise her, and I was gonna crochet her the scarf the year before that because that's when she asked for it. But anyway, I'm sure she would still appreciate it if I did it, and I will. Um, oh gosh, I feel like I've caught emotions from Reem. I was I sent her a message. I was talking to her a little bit, I think yesterday morning or Thursday night. I think it was yesterday morning. And she got emotional. She's like, "Oh, I'm just like I'm so happy and blah blah blah." And then I got emotional cuz I was happy and it almost came back. Anyway, I'm going to attempt to focus for the rest of this. Before we have soul retrieval, number 49. After we have the spiral, number 50. It feels like an energy because this feels like what is being retrieved. This feels like the space where it goes. And so it almost feels like we're going to be trying to find where something fits. Something that we gained from before Scorpio season. Could have been Libra season, could have been a long time ago. We're going to be, it's almost like putting pegs in holes. Like the square peg goes in the square hole. So it's not going to fit in the circular hole or the triangular hole or the hexagonal hole or the octahedral hole or whatever. So let's get some clarification on this. I do love the greens and the pinks. We're going from green lower heart to a pink higher heart. This is Venus and Saturn and Russell sound healing. What? You've been making scented candles for your sister since Christmas 2018. That's really cool. I had a friend who started a candle business, and I actually just thought of her a few days ago. I was gonna see if she still makes them, and I was gonna buy some. I have another friend who's an artist, and I bought one of her pieces. She's participating in Maketober. So she did a full card. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I've been meaning to like reach out to you to see if you'd illustrate a deck for me. And she was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. Like I would love to. I was like, okay, I'll keep you in mind. I still gotta make the deck, but she's extremely talented. And one of my favorite people. When we went to school together, it was good vibes, but I feel like I never really had the opportunity or chance to talk to her. But she was so cool. They were so cool. I think their pronouns are they, them. So sorry. They're really cool, really talented. I was like, and they're down to illustrate my deck. I was like, okay, nice. So I need to start saving up money for that. This is interesting. So two court cards came out. A court card was at the top of the deck, and a minor, a pip card, was at the bottom. And behind the one at the bottom is another court card. And this is soul retrieval. So if it's a soul retrieval, I feel like it would make sense for court card energies to come out because they represent people, or in this case, maybe aspects. So the two that came out first, I noticed this page of wands. And the page of wands before is interesting. Because we see him almost reading like this hieroglyphic tablet, which is actually given this page of wands not necessarily a hermit energy, but it feels more hermity in nature. Oh, dries wax and essential oils. Nice. And then on the other side of that was the Queen of Pentacles. And it's funny because Russ, for the moon in Leo, Leo was reaching up and grounding the cosmic snake to awaken the earth snake that did something when Virgo opened up the Gununga Gap. But the snake is offering the Queen of Pentacle. So these are the cards that came out. And there is a little bit of it feels like the energy of a lot of what we hear, some of the enlightened ones in the past, the ones that had like everything and gave it all up in order to find like some sort of enlightenment. I was actually talking with Rob about that not too long ago. So this Queen of Coins, she has a throne but no castle. It's an energy where she already, even with the Nine of Pentacles, with the Nine of Coins, some of the Pentacle energies feel like they already have what it is that they're going to have when we see them in the moment. And then in the after tarot, it's almost like they still got it sometimes, if I'm remembering correctly. But like with this, it's like she's already got a certain status before she's handed this pentacle. In the after tarot, when I was shuffling the first time, the Ace of Pentacles came out on the ground with the scarab beetle in the hand of the divine. Excuse me. I had Little Caesars and I ate a lot of it. That's why I wasn't chatting in Russ's live. I was eating. And I ate too much, but I'm like burping it up now. It's kind of gross. This feels like the search for where she plants that seed or where she builds her castle. And I guess according to this, she's not going to go somewhere where there's already something established because he's in the middle of the desert, right? At the top of the deck was the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is ready to take on this information that the divine is about to hand down. This almost reminds me of the Israelites and the Promised Land. Because here's an energy of one person moving from one place to another, a place long foretold. But with this King of Swords, it's like his throne matches this little stone tablet. So it feels like the Page of Wands is actually going to go, he's going to find that the King of Swords is there. We also have like court cards from 3 different suits. The one not represented, like we don't have a representative from the suit of cups. And at the bottom of the deck was the 10 of Swords before. So this is the space of us doing something that we know we need to do. And honestly, it feels like something that we weren't prepared for or we didn't feel prepared for. But we did it anyway. And in doing it anyway, we found something within ourselves, which leaves us at this Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is the one who's more self assured, who's more confident, who knows who she is. And because she knows who she is and she carries herself in a certain way, it attracts other people. And this is funny because I had lunch with one of my friends not too long ago. I have this one dude in my life who is amazing. He's amazing. He's one of the many, many, many Pisces that I met the summer of 2019. Summer of 2019 was the summer of me apparently connecting with all the fish. All the fish. Summer 2019. And it wasn't intentional. But anyway, something had happened when I was at lunch with somebody else. And then it brought something up, and it was really like I needed to talk about it. So I reached out to him and I was explaining it to him. And he was like, Well, they say that like confidence is sexy. And I know that like people say that confidence is sexy or confidence is appealing and confidence is attractive. But I've never necessarily personally felt either way about it, honestly. But then after that, like after that lunch, I was like, yeah. And it's not that insecurity is unattractive, but it's like, maybe it's like a pity thing where someone's like, oh, like there's this or that about me. And you're like, oh, well, I think like you're pretty cool and you're awesome. And they're like, thanks, you see it, but like no one else does. And I'm this and I'm that. And I'm just like, okay, like, you're right. You're hideous. You're the most disgusting thing I've ever seen walk the face of the earth. And I know I shouldn't be like that. And I'm not really like that. I am more understanding in the moment, but it's just like, so here's the thing, right? Full transparency. This is someone that I was interested in. I met him my freshman year of high school in Latin Club. Immediately interested in him. I didn't find out that he was into dudes until senior year of high school after I had already come out. But nothing ever happened. 2015, I'm home for winter break and we decide to start talking. I don't talk to him. And I was like, if we're going to talk, we should meet up in person, right? Before I go back to school. That didn't happen. And I was like, okay, well, if that's not going to happen, it like I can tell what the level of engagement is going to be here. And then after a certain point in time, I forgot that we were talking until he started talking about somebody else. So that happened last year when Venus was in Aries and I had a Venus return. I was a mess and he was a mess and we were a mess together digitally. And that's one of the things that opened me up to my sensuality, and it made me, at the time I didn't know it, but after the whole experience was over, it made me more comfortable in my body in a lot of ways, in ways that I wasn't necessarily expecting when I was having those experiences. And I remember I had a set of experiences summer 2019. The situation and circumstances weren't great, but I was like, I'm not gonna blame myself for this or shame myself for this or guilt myself for this. Like, I'm not gonna do it. I was in meditation class and I was like, in meditation class, they say release all guilt and all shame and then release blame on other people when you take it a step higher. And so it was at the end of all that I was like, wow, like these experiences actually helped me to be comfortable in my body, and it helped open me up to my sensuality in a way that I had never allowed before. And so anyway, we're at lunch, and for like some disclosure, my Venus is in Aries, and I personally don't believe in leagues. Like if I like somebody, I like somebody, I'm going to approach that person if I feel like it. I'm not going to be like, "Oh, they're so this or they're so that." Like they'll never talk to me. That's just not who I am. Um but we started talking, like some dude came up in conversation and he was like, oh, he's really cute, but he's out of my league because like I'm this and I'm that and I'm whatever. And me being a person that he sometimes expresses interest in, for me, that was like, ew, this is weird. So this dude is out of your league because he's thinner and you're a bigger guy, and you think that I'm in your league because I'm a bigger guy and you're a bigger guy, but this behavior that you're displaying right now clarifies to me that I am outside of your league as well. Because if, and I was talking to my friend and he said it's like those indirect value statements. He was like, in some weird way, indirectly making a statement about his comfortability with me because of my physical body. And I was it was weird. It didn't feel good. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And so now I'm just like that was Libra that was part of Libra season for me. Um And I don't fully, oh, because the Queen of Wands. So that's when I was like, I didn't necessarily like ever think that confidence is sexy. And everyone has insecurity. So I'm not gonna say that insecurity, like someone has having insecurity makes them unattractive. But it's like for me, it's those almost indirect value statements where it's like, oh, so like because I'm a certain type of way or because I look a certain way, you think that you have more of a chance with me. And maybe it's my Venus in Aries, maybe it's my ego. Hey, Steph, I don't know. It was just like any interest that I had was just instantaneously deflated. And I was just like, no. Because I knew he suffered with his image before, but it's like within the same conversation, I was just like, no. Apparently, I'm just talking about everything tonight, or a lot of things tonight. But it's this Queen of Wands. Oh, the Queen of Wands. That's interesting because I got that card, or I've seen that card recently. Um, and look, she's nurturing the sunflower, right? So anyway, that's the story in the before. The story in the before is that we were in our comfort zone in some way. We're given an opportunity for more, for a physical life upgrade, for an expansion in our physical experience. Oh, thanks, Steph. I'm still here. Well, sometimes. But there's something where it takes us elsewhere. And the elsewhere it takes us, we, oof, my connection is unstable. Yeah, Melissa, same. Like, oh, like you're different. I'm like, girl, ew, ew. That it's not the compliment that people think it is sometimes. Yeah, it said I got connection issues. So if it disconnects or whatever, then it happens. That's the nature of how I do things. I'm just like, if you can't hear me, then it wasn't meant to be heard. But it feels like we feel like we're at some point, some kind of disadvantage, and that the advantage lies elsewhere. But in us going forward anyway, there's something within ourselves that we discover. So that even if there are things that we're insecure about or unsure about, even if we are going outside of our comfort zone or we feel like we're out of our element, there's still a strength within self that we can stand in. That's the piece of us related to whatever is being retrieved in soul retrieval. And it's like maybe it's a fire within us that went out a long time ago because life happened. And because life happened, we we were affected by it in whatever way. Now after we have the spiral. And maybe the spiral, this could be the energy of us stepping more and more and more and more into this and more areas and sectors and aspects of our lives. Now the Queen of Wands is on top of the Queen of Swords because she just slid off the deck, revealing the Three of Wands. So maybe too, in the beginning, it was like not necessarily a wild goose chase. Um, you need to get out of this rabbit hole. Well, hopefully you get out. I don't know what it's. Who was this? Oh. What? The Two of Cups just came out. After I was like, where are the cups? There's no cups. The Two of Cups came out after. Apparently, confidence is sexy. Self assuredness is sexy. And you got it now. So maybe somebody gonna think you sexy because day by day, sometimes moment by moment stuff. But I hope things lighten up. And I hope that whatever it is that you need to get you through this, you find. Oh. What is happening? The Lovers just came out. There's an energy here. I think it's in the Mystic Mondays Tarot. One of the cards, one of the keywords. No, it might be the Angel of Balance in the Energy Oracle cards. It talks about self honoring choices. Choices and decisions that honor ourselves and that honor who we are. And sometimes, in us honoring who we are, it may be moments like this where we have to make the choice and the decision to go through something, knowing that it may be difficult, but also knowing that on the other side of it is everything we've ever wanted. There are the cups, the Ten of Cups. But there's no rainbow yet. And the before, it's raining. And maybe that's the thing about the Queen of Wands. Because it was just this, like, because I noticed the caduceus with the lion and the wings here, and then the angel up here. And it was this energy of like, because you honor you, we will honor you. The universe will honor you. The world around you, the people that you come in contact with will honor you. Life itself, King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I love the King of Cups after. If you could see the King of Cups before, you would know how little water there was before he started pouring it. And he can keep pouring it without fear of his cup running dry, without fear of being taken advantage of. The King of Cups has gone through a very significant journey. If you could see the King of Cups in the before, you'd be like, oh my gosh. And maybe that's what the spiral is. It's like a give and take, give and receive type of energy. The energy that you put out is the energy that you receive. The space that you hold is the space you'll find yourself in. Which is why before Scorpio season, it was working through the difficulty of putting ourselves in a certain place, putting ourselves in a certain position, putting ourselves in a certain mental framework, even when there was nothing to substantiate it. When it made more sense, when it was more logical, when it was infinitely more likely that we would fail. But we tried anyway. And it was in the pursuit and in that effort that something within was reignited. And it's that thing within that was reignited that attracts everything that follows. And it's because we honor ourselves that we are honored in return. And that's it. The title card. This is that whole new experience on earth. It's lived experience. And what happens between now and then is choices. Choices and decisions. And the more ways we can find to honor and validate and celebrate ourselves, the more we'll be honored and validated and celebrated. But it's not for us to be dependent upon receiving that externally to ourselves either. Queen of Wands is an Aries energy for me, cardinal fire. And cardinal fire is very different from a Leo fixed fire. It's almost like Leo thrives a little bit more on that validation, whereas Aries just does it to do it. You know what I mean? It's almost like Aries is an energy of I don't care who likes this or who doesn't like it. And Leo is an energy because it is so central to a lot of things. I feel like it factors in what other people would think a lot more than Aries does. Maybe it's just because Aries doesn't even just like it doesn't even cross Aries's mind that somebody might disapprove. And if it does, it feels like Aries is like, don't care. I'm gonna do it anyway. It's my life. So there is something about living life here too. And that came out in several of the ones that Russ did. I forget what the card was, but it was the one about like living life and enjoying life. So Scorpio season is almost feeling like it's going to be a series of internal and external transformations that get us closer to the truth of who we are and that get us closer to living the experience that we wish to have. But if it's not spoken and if that space isn't held, then it will be lost. And again, it's like it's here because you honor you, we honor you. So let's learn to love ourselves more or more deeply, I guess. The magician at the bottom of the deck. Oof, with the devil behind the magician, and the Ten of Pentacles behind the devil, and the Five of Cups behind that Ten of Pentacles, and then Judgment. This is interesting. The magician doesn't have his hand on any of these tools. Yeah, see, there's definitely, it feels like it'll be easier to navigate Scorpio season if we've been able to face the things that we need to face. Because we have this wonderful opportunity to experience. It's like, we either experience the Ten of Pentacles or this Five of Cups. And it's either the magician or the devil. Either we use everything, like almost literally everything, to move forward and to create experiences that we desire to have, or we remain bound by our pasts and our fears and our worries, our anxieties, our addictions. And a lot of times, not a lot of times, sometimes we have addictions because of the things that we can't face, because of the things that we can't escape. And a lot of spirituality is escapism. Shout out to the person who said that. I mean, it was Rob. It was Rob. And that's when that's literally this is what we were talking about. It came up in the context of a lot of people of old. Some of the enlightened ones, they were escaping the lives that they were living, and in the escape they found enlightenment. And enlightenment was a more permanent escape. But that was also that Seven of Swords that came out in the before. It was, or was it? Yeah, I think it was the before. It was the Seven of Swords, the Five of Cups, and the Five of Swords that came out after. They came out after the Ace of Pentacles came out, and it was that energy of like, if we don't face something, we're gonna walk into a trap. It's not gonna be what we think it is because we're so bound by it. And it's like whenever we get too far from it, or whenever we manage to move on, whenever we manage to almost miraculously somehow forget, we're reminded. And we go right back to where we were. And we feel like we lose all the progress that we made. And it's because we don't face it. And so it's like, again, because we didn't, instead of the Ten of Pentacles, we get the Five of Cups. But we get the Five of Cups looking at the thing, right? Because in this five, she's actually looking back towards the two cups that are still standing upright, but she hasn't made a move towards them. And so there is a recognition, there is a desire to move forward, but desire without action, what does that give us? And with Judgment at the bottom of the deck, and here's that Seven of Swords again, it feels like it's literally our call. It's our choice, it's our decision. And it's always been our choice. It's always been our decision, but this is the choice and the decision to flee. This is the choice and the decision to run. It reminds me of the Seven of Swords in the Pride Tarot. Of, it's like when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was a thing, there was someone who feared persecution. And so he was in like the Navy or the Marines or something. So he stole all of their swords and then he fled on land. And then it was like, well, if they encounter any enemies while they're out at sea, they're not going to be able to defend themselves. And then it's like, well, you've already sort of like escaped. What do you need these swords for? I don't know. It's an energy of running to avoid pain and to avoid hurt. But like with this spiral card, especially, it's internal. And if it's internal, how do you escape something that's within you? Substances for a lot of people. And that's where things, again, devil energy. Seeking altered states of mind. This is so. I would feel like I would almost think that Scorpio season would be more of more karmic, but karmic in a way of like receiving what it is that we've already put forth to receive. And so it's just such receiving, but it feels like Scorpio season, it's about making choices, even when it's difficult. And it reminds me of it's either Barkiel or Barbiel. I think it's Barkiel, the angel of Scorpio, when it talks about the times where we have to stand up and fight, where we have to make a choice and we have to make a decision. And this is us investing in ourselves, where the energy of Scorpio is typically, it's like other people's money and taxes and inheritances and stuff like that. And again, it's that energy of because you honor you, we honor you. So if you invest in you, you'll also be invested in. It's an energy of matching. But if you don't invest anything, like let's say if someone says that they match donations up to $40,000, right? And you're like, oh, well, they're going to pay $40,000. I don't have to invest anything. And it's like, no, they're matching it. So if you want 40,000, you have to at least invest 20,000, and then they'll pay the other 20,000 to get you your 40. But you're not going to get your 40 by doing nothing. That's how we stay in the same position, and then we stay wanting, we stay desiring. Choices. But it feels like choices that have the power to alter our very lives. Yeah, I like them too. And the in between. And it says, go with the flow, letting go, cleansing, and receiving. Oh, wow, Melissa. Sorry to hear that for your friend, but yeah. There's a cake we have in the freezer. When my cousin got married, they were going to eat it at on their first anniversary. It's still in the deep freezer, and it's not any good. And my brother was just talking about, he was like, when are they going to get this cake? I want to pull, one of these. Barakiel is the angel of lightning. I think Barkiel or Barbiel is the angel of Scorpio. In the year two angelariums, at least. So this is why I was like, I'll leave Scorpio season a mystery. We'll just look before and we'll look after. This is why it's a mystery. It's a mystery because it's chosen. It's all choice. And I don't know if us seeking the liberation that we seek and the ways that we seek it, I don't know if the energy of the age of Aquarius makes our choices and decisions even more important. It's almost like the training wheels are off in a sense. And so we're more responsible now for what it is that we hold ourselves to and what it is that we hold the world to. And we're much more likely to get it or much more likely to receive it. Almost like a certain buffer's been removed, which is great if we're in a great place. But if we're not, then it feels like it can be easy to spiral out or to fall down a rabbit hole or, yeah. I haven't seen Bezalel like ever. Bezalel used to come out all the time. Barbiel is the angel of Scorpio. And it says, there are times when words fail and action must be taken. When trials beset our lives and no other course of action is available, we have to fight. The nature of this sign is to be an ally, loving in the easy times and harsh when the world demands it. Barbiel is our sword against the darkness. It is our power to strike back when necessary. And I feel like it really goes back to that Queen of Wands energy, where it's like, regardless of what the situation is, regardless of what the circumstances are, I know who I am. And again, it's like with this Queen of Pentacles, she was already the queen. She already had her throne. She was already on her throne before she got the palace and before she was given this pinnacle. It's like, because like she was recognized because of the space that she holds. And there's this energy of like, when we hold certain things, the universe can't but work out for us in a positive way. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to say it, but it's like there are, it's almost like natural laws where it's like, if this happens, then that must happen. It must follow. And that's what this Queen of Coins and that's what the Queen of Wands, like, that's what they're standing in. And it's because they stand in that, that the Two of Cups and the Lovers follow. Because you honor you, we honor you. Anyway, let me get one of these for Scorpio season so I can go to bed, so I can go to sleep. I don't ask for anything from the angels. Sometimes they just kind of pop up. I'm like, nope. Welcome back, Amy. Don't, or you can put your phone down and listen if you're gonna stay, so that way it doesn't hit you in the face. But yeah, there is an angel named Barakiel, and Barakiel is different than Barbiel. So maybe it was Barakiel. Marcel Russell. Are you coming on here to tell me to go to sleep? Hey Siri, what time is it? See, this is that energy I was talking about. The first one is an explosive vision, a nurturing light, and burning passion. This is one of the few cards that has all single digit numbers on it. There you go. You can see the numbers. At the bottom of the deck is a forced uprising, an ancient word that stirs ancient things to life whispered. The Eight of Hearts and the Two of Diamonds. And the Eight of Hearts and the Eight of Cups way, it is it's that energy. It's because you honor yourself, you are honored. The Eight of Hearts is that it's the card of like, even if we do have emotional attachments, or even if we are comfortable somewhere, if it's no longer healthy or beneficial, if it's grown toxic, or if it stagnates, then we leave. We must go on. And it's those self honoring choices, even when it's difficult. And it feels like those choices change the balance with the Two of Coins. Those choices shift the scales. And sometimes it's not even what we do, but it's how and why we do it. Eleven, 11, what? Oh, not no more. Not anymore. Not anymore. Oh, I've just arrived. You gotta keep going. Well, you can always watch it back for us. I'm just saying. Oh, I'm not sure, Melissa. Google will say anything that anyone puts on the internet, and everybody puts a lot of people put a lot of stuff on the internet, which is honestly that's one of the reasons why on my journey I was just like, I'm not super into like googling things, or I don't know, it feels like a lot of secondary and then tertiary and then quaternary information, like something that someone else said, that someone else said, that someone else said, that someone else said, that someone else said. But it also isn't my path, I guess, or my interest to get into a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know. That sounds like that's like when I took my meditation class, like I was so glad because I was like, I don't want to have to learn about chakra from YouTube, or I don't want to have to learn about the chakras from YouTube or Google. This is interesting because before, the Page of Wands was having a hermit energy, but now the Page of Pentacles has come out with the hermit. But this is the hermit. In this card, we see the hermit picking a star to put in its lantern before the cosmic egg is even birthed. Patrick is not the horse's mouth. Patrick is not the horse's mouth at all. See, this is reminding me of that earth snake, cosmic snake frequency that Russ was talking about. This is a blessing from the earth. This is a blessing from the cosmos. And at the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Swords. Is this Laurel and Holly? And the star is behind that. But it's the star that's not yet begun to pour. Oh my gosh. The star. The one that the hermit is putting in its lantern. It feels like Spirit is loosening the sword. Well, I don't know if Spirit is loosening the sword or if they're actually putting the sword in the stone because the crown is here. They might actually be putting the sword in the stone. See, this is setting up the journey. It's almost like if you could take any hero's journey, but then you see like Spirit actually set up each obstacle along the way. So here's the crown that they have to go hide. There's the sword that they put in the stone. Someone is gonna put a dragon in a tower or something. I don't know. This is the path being set before we actually walk down it and do the healing. And there's a little bit of a hanged man energy here because of this around her head, the star around her head. This is interesting. So I don't know if this is like one of those pre-incarnation energy things. When it's like the things I used to believe that though. I think like I encountered specific challenges in some way to get me to see something because we're all different and we're all known. And it's like what I need to go through or what I need to see to get me to where I need to go to reach the conclusions that I need to make. Even if the journey looks exactly the same as someone else's, if we're different people, I'm going to get something completely different out of it. And it's about what I need on my journey. And it's about what you need on yours. That's interesting. And then in the flash was dozing. So I don't even know if like there's something about it's almost like resetting the board. It feels like the hermit is resetting the board. Like the hermit is taking the light out of the lantern and he's gonna throw the star back into the sky for us to find. This is us. This is so weird. Because with the Page of Pentacles, it almost feels like we're already in motion, but it's being set up. Is that the shortcut energy? Is that because we took a shortcut? Because that's what the shortcut was. The shortcut was this energy of like where we keep pace with life. Instead of like we experience a situation, it affects us, we ignore it, we repress it, we suppress it, we don't deal with it for days, weeks, months, years, and then we finally get around to dealing with it, mostly because we have to, and then we move forward. But in the energy of the shortcut, in the energy of like playing the game in real time, it loads as we move because we're no longer causing delays, and it becomes much more interactive and much more immersive and much more fluid because we're not slowing anything down. And it goes back to that energy almost with the magician and the devil, with the 10 of pentacles and the 5 of cups. If we choose to remain bound, or not even choose, it's just the readiness. Because when you're at that edge, when you're playing it in real time, you've got to be comfortable with the unknown. You've got to be comfortable with not knowing, and you got to be comfortable with flexibility and fluidity and a lot of stuff. Maybe something is about to become a lot more real time and a lot less like pre-loaded. I don't know. That's weird. Oh, here. Okay. I've already got my alarm set. Oops. That was quick. Oh. Oh. The Empress with the 8 of Cups at the bottom. We're just gonna put that back. We're just gonna put that one back. The Wheel of Fortune. All right, after tarot, final message. Oh, okay, cute. Can I get one more card, please? Oh, it's another 3. It's the 3 of Cups. That's a lot. Bottom of the deck is the Queen of Swords. So at the bottom of the deck, it's the Queen of Swords, the Three of Swords, and the King of Swords. The bottom of the After Tarot, with Temperance behind that. The card that came out is the Three of Cups. And then the Fool is behind Temperance. Maybe this is an energy of making peace with our pasts. And it feels like this is a cleansing rain. The rain washes the blades clean. And we see two of the swords here. But the third sword is who knows where. I don't even know if it necessarily matters. The king has one, the queen has one. I'm looking at the sword with the crown on the ground. And it's almost this energy where this King of Swords has decided not to follow that path. The one where Spirit was putting the sword in the stone, and then they were going to hide the crown, and they were going to put the dragon in the tower, and then they were going to put the bandits along the roads, and the corrupted kings and their knights with their ridiculous taxes or whatever. And he just decides not to do it. He's got his own crown. And so this is one of those. I feel like I've seen this energy before. This energy, it reminds me of January to February 2020, when I would be feeling some type of way. I would pull up YouTube, and every reading on my feed would be weird. And I'd be like, ew, like, no, we're not going to do this. And I would like address that within myself, refresh, and every reading changed. And so it was this moment in time where I got to experience like real time what I'm feeling, I literally see on my feed. And so it was almost like if this is how it works, then what will I choose? And so there's almost an energy here of taking ourselves off of the map. The one that we saw being set up in the before tarot. And it's almost like, not like that's the point, but it's like it's the fact that we get to decide. It's like there are things that we could experience, but we don't. And maybe that's this healed Three of Swords. Maybe this is the energy where it's like, you know what? Instead of experiencing this again, I'd rather experience this. And that's this Temperance. that was one of the things for us to learn. But it's almost like we don't even see that as a lesson. We don't even see that as an opportunity until we've already like gone through this, until we've already healed it. And it's almost like after that, then you can recognize and realize that like you're just not going to do it anymore. And it's not doing it, it's not coming from a place of like an avoidance. It's coming from a place like uh informed choice is the easiest way to say it. But it's a position of like power. I don't know how to communicate it because I think sometimes we declare that we won't have certain experiences, but because we haven't healed from those experiences, it's that devil energy where we're still bound by it. This is something that we're healed from, this is something that we're free from. And because of that, we get to conduct ourselves in a way that changes the outcome of the situation with no hold on the physical situation itself. And maybe this is because it's almost like being grounded in yourself rather than being grounded in the world. Because when you're grounded in the world, you're subjected to the cycles and the seasons, right? Winter, spring, summer, fall. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Doesn't matter what you do, you're going to get all those seasons. And even if you go somewhere where the temperature is more consistent, you're still going to experience fluctuations throughout the year, maybe sort of regularly. Because we can't control anything outside of ourselves. I don't know if we ever gain control over anything outside of ourselves. But this is one who's learned the power of presence and not in a detached way. And there's something about being connected to both the water and the earth here. Something about adjusting the water. I don't know. That's for after Scorpio season. No. Oh wait, haven't got time for pain. That's not the song that popped into my mind. Oh, it's late. Let's let the seven other people rest. I guess they might be asleep. It reminds me. So that would be the three of essences with the teacher of zones, the three of zones, and the sage of zones. The sage of zones is an energy where it knows. It's like knowing cause and effect, but it's not cause and effect. It's just understanding. See, but that energy came out where it's like if you do this, then like if you do A, then B must follow. Like the Sage of Zones is the one who knows all that stuff. And so there's a certain deliberateness that they have with everything they do, or with a lot of what they do. I'm getting dropped off. Um, excuse me. The Teacher of Zones. What's the Three of Zones? 3 is catalytic. The zones, it's the space of that which precedes the physical manifestation, or that which precedes the experience. It's the cause to the effect of experienced life. The realms, Earth, is the experienced life. The Three of Essences, it's the space where the inner child is born. Born as one who has both inner light and inner dark, or inner feminine and inner masculine. It has characteristics of both, but it's different. It's its own thing. But it feels like the harmony hasn't yet been found. And maybe that's why we encounter those Three of Swords experiences after we've healed from them. It's almost like it gives us an opportunity for us to discover who and how a healed us functions in the world and navigates life. Hey, Torin, it's been a minute since I seen your name. That's fine, Holly. Holly, sorry. That's fine, Melissa. Hey, Vicky. I'm basically talking to myself. Oh, here they are. It's time for me to go to bed. Oh, no. Cards on the floor. Why? I was doing so well. I need to charge my AirPods. I got some listening to do tomorrow. Ooh, what? Vision Quest. Vision Quest fell right on top of my closed water jug. Was it only one card? Vision Quest. A choose your own adventure energy has come out before. It's come out before. I guess that's what that King of Swords energy was. It's like there's a predetermined path, there's the safe one, and then there's the other. You're a chef? What? I could go for some good food. You make good food, Torin? Well, I'm glad to hear you've been busy. Glad to hear business has been good. All right. Oh, well. Ba, 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 ba. Bad business is a treadmill. Final Earth. Oof. Okay. Oh, snap. What? So technically, they were all in reverse. Oh. Jaguar Energy came out recently. That might have been for Lantern 3. I think it was for Lantern 3. At the bottom of the deck was the Sweat Lodge. And then the cards that came out, it's Middle World, Beloved, and the Jaguar. Behind the Sweat Lodge is the Mystical Shaman. Honestly, I have no clue what this is. Besides it just feeling like an energy of protection. It feels like the Middle World and the Sweat Lodge are the same place. And the Mystical Shaman maybe integrates both of these, or the Mystical Shaman is able to pull light out of darkness. This Mystical Shaman feels like a shapeshifter. You found a Mystical Shaman outside of the beloved Sweat Lodge. Where? Only in Mexico. So, chef, I'm basically running an adult daycare center. It feels like this Mystical Shaman is the Jaguar. and they're connected through these. But this mystical shaman is also the bird, the owl. This goes back to that energy of because you honor you, we honor you. And it kind of sort of feels like we're being watched in dark and in light. We're being watched as we go through things. And it's not necessarily like it's almost like karma in a way of like how we treat other people, how we interact with other people, even when we're going through something ourselves. Because it speaks to our character in some way. And if the mystical shaman is watching, they're watching for a reason. So that's what I got. I'm gonna go to bed. I hope you have a good whatever. Whenever you see this, I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope whatever you need along your path, journey, or way you find, in the way that you need to find it, I guess. And then if you need a little help, you get a little help. If you need a lot of help, you get a lot of help. And ultimately, I wish for you to be in a position where you know that you have choices and where you can be in a position to make choices that honor you and that you experience that honor reciprocated. So I'll catch y'all later. Oh, it's been almost 2 hours.